Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Television. We take a look back at this past week's television from WWE and TNA and even Ring of Honor. And we look forward to this Sunday's WWE Royal Rumble. All that with Star of the Week, the history book, and more. Coming up right here, right now on the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts, David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, Primetime Television. It's Saturday, January 28th, actually, 2012. What are you doing? Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. Why are you dancing? Didn't you learn your lesson last week?
I'm getting ready for the Heroettes. They're on their way.
All you should be getting ready for is this Sunday's Royal Rumble. Tomorrow night on pay-per-view. We had Be the Booker yesterday where we looked at the Royal Rumble matchup itself. But first,
big 30-man Royal Rumble.
Here on this episode, in the top story this week, I want to take a look at the other matches on the Royal Rumble card, David Hero, and one that has been getting solid build on Raw for the last several weeks, John Cena versus Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
That happens this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. What might we see in that matchup?
We're going to see a fight. We're going to see the ungluing of John Cena, finally embracing his hate and going to show Kane how much of a bad guy he can really be.
This past Monday night on Raw, we saw what happened with Zack Ryder. We saw Cena's angry face. This matchup...
Boy, I thought that was his constipated face.
Could have been. This matchup, though, should be intriguing because, well, Kane hasn't been back in a real wrestling situation since he came back to WWE, and John Cena has a lot to prove to maybe not only himself, but all the fans out there. He may embrace that hate.
This is going to be the match where John Cena throws everything at Kane. Doesn't hurt Kane, and Kane just looks back and laughs like he's enjoying watching Cena come unglued, like he enjoys the fact that John Cena is embracing his inner hateness.
His inner hateness?
Hateness. It's a new word.
Now, maybe, and I don't know why John Cena hasn't called you, aside from the obvious reasons, but, I mean, you embrace the hate.
You have to. It's all about the Red Lantern Corps.
I'm sorry?
You'll understand later.
Smackdown last night. Big Show defeating Mark Henry via countout. Daniel Bryan getting involved, the WMD, choke slam, the bell locks, all kinds of shenanigans involving those three men at the end of SmackDown last night. This Sunday at the Royal Rumble, a surprising matchup. It's a three-way cage match. Daniel Bryan, the Big Show, and Mark Henry. Three-way cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship. The odds are stacked against Daniel Bryan. What's going to happen this Sunday at the Royal Rumble?
And with the odds stacked against him, that's exactly why DBD, Daniel Bryan Danielson, will leave the Royal Rumble as the world champion, defeating the world's largest athlete and the world's strongest man.
Daniel Bryan does it again, you think?
He will somehow, some way, ring collapses, ring implodes, guys fall through the ring. He will somehow cowardly win that match and move on to Elimination Chamber.
Why a cage match? It's a little odd. I'm not sure we've ever had a cage match at the Rumble event.
No, you haven't had a gimmick match at the Rumble like this before. But right now, they want to establish Daniel Bryan as a legitimate contender, a legitimate player. And what better way to do that than to beat Mark Henry in the Big Show in a steel cage? He really, on paper, he has no chance to win this. And that's why, if they're going to be creative and they're going to elevate Daniel Bryan, let him be sneaky, let him be a coward, let him beat the two biggest guys on the roster and shock the world, making him a legitimate contending champion.
I don't know. I'm not disagreeing with you. This
kind of sounds like you are, but you'll be wrong.
It should be a fun match.
It'll prove itself. You've heard that before.
Once or twice. The WWE Championship on the line. CM Punk defending against Dolph Ziggler. The show-off, if you will. The special guest referee is John Laurinaitis, the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations for WWE and the interim Raw General Manager.
Yes, he is.
John Laurinaitis on somewhat of a probation, and his job will be evaluated Monday night on Raw. This match has shenanigans written all over it, David, but one can't discount the abilities of Dolph Ziggler in this match?
This will be the match of the night. CM Punk is going to prove the world he's a great wrestler. Dolph Ziggler is just going to take his game to the next level, and those two guys will put on a 20-minute show that's going to involve telling a story, that's going to get Johnny Ace involved, and the match should be fantastic. It should, if you buy the Rumble for the Rumble, but if there's one other match you're going to buy it for, it's this one. It's CM Punk against Dolph Ziggler. It'll be that good. Because keep in mind, you're going to have Jack Swagger in the equation, you're going to have Vicky Guerrero in the equation,
Excuse me?
You're going to have Johnny Ace in the equation. All of that against CM Punk.
Will CM Punk overcome those odds come this
Absolutely.
Sunday?
He's going to have to overcome the odds. As much as we'd love to see Dolph Ziggler win and become the new WWE champion, Johnny Ace is going to screw it up. He's going to cost Dolph Ziggler the match. CM Punk's going to win. Then he can get fired on Raw the next night or whatever else. CM Punk leaves the champ. They've invested way too much money and time and merchandise into Punk to have him lose at the Rumble.
Ziggler's got a new shirt.
Yeah, he does, but it doesn't sell nearly as well as CM Punk.
Maybe it could.
It won't.
I don't think CM Punk being champion is going to diminish.
It does, because it sets up the Royal Rumble. Like I told you on Be the Booker, PWRshow.com, Be the Booker, CM Punk, Chris Jericho. That's where it's heading.
Bro, I've been saying that for months.
No, you didn't say nothing.
I've been saying that for months.
He's been back for 2 weeks.
Your hearing is so selective. Right, I was saying it before he came back. Is
there any other hearing you should have?
I don't have to prove to you how right I am about just about everything in this world. You just know it, and you're in denial.
Listen, when you get your own Damian Nelson Has Spoken shirt, then we can talk.
I don't need gimmicks to
It's all about the
prove I'm right. The Royal Rumble this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Want to remind all of you that the Pro Wrestling Report will have a huge event coming up this Sunday down at the Horny Goat Hideaway. That's it's First and Beecher right here in Milwaukee. GLCW Wrestling starting at 5 o'clock p.m. And are those tickets to the GLCW show?
No, these are tickets to the Elimination Chamber.
Where'd you get all those?
Oh, I know people.
Andy?
That know people.
Those are supposed to be locked up in the vault.
So we'll be giving away tickets to the Elimination Chamber at the GLCW show.
All those tickets?
Exposed? Well, it depends. Depends if I'm going to like everybody or not. But it's going to be at 5 o'clock. Tickets start at $10. PWRshow.com, BlizzardBrawl.com, or go down to Horny Goat the day of the show, get tickets. TNA television champion Scotty 2 Hotty against TNA TV champion Robbie E. against the other guy with the funky hair, Scotty 2 Hotty. We got the man beast Rhino's going to be there. Our own GLCW Royal Rumble type match we're going to have. And let's not forget, it's going to be hosted by the lovely and talented former WCW diva, Gorgeous George.
Several other great local talents on that program as well. And that program will be followed by the Royal Rumble free. Absolutely free. Save yourself $45, $55. Come on down to the Horny Goat Hideaway. Watch the Royal Rumble. Win tickets to Sunday's to the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view in Milwaukee.
Did you take?
And other great
some.
items. Yeah, you're missing some. I'm missing all.
Bro,
you're not supposed to have those.
You know that sleight of hand trick you know that video you watched? You just took some tickets from me.
This Sunday, Horny Goat Hideaway, 5 o'clock p.m.
Where are the ringside
GLCW,
seats?
7 o'clock p.m. Royal Rumble.
These aren't the
for
ringside
free.
seats.
We'll be.
And now they're all out of
event.
numerical order.
We'll be right back in just a moment. Actually, no. Now, since you got the tickets out, why don't we just do it? Let's do our giveaway, David Hero. Right here on the Pro Wrestling Report, we're giving away tickets each and every week.
Thank you.
For the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Last week's question: who was the guest referee for the main event at WWE Over the Edge 1998, which happened right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin? The Mecca Arena, I'm not sure I've ever seen explode as much as it did that night for that pay-per-view event. Because the catalyst between all this going on
the Crusher was there.
The special guest referee, Vince McMahon.
Yes.
Remember that chair shot he took?
Yes, brutal. Corporate dude.
A lot of you got the question answered correctly, but only one of you were able to win. And we'd like to congratulate this week's winner, coming to us from Fredonia, Wisconsin.
Where?
Fredonia, Wisconsin. Fredonia.
Never heard of it.
I got a cousin named Fredonia. Justin Watry is the winner. Congratulations, Justin. You've won 4 of those tickets that this one's stealing to WWE Elimination Chamber, February 19th here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Giver. You just said I could.
Justin Watry, congratulations. You are this week's winner. And we'll contact you via email as to how to get all of that information on how you get your tickets.
Kev, he's giving away the tickets.
And it continues, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving away 4 more tickets this week to WWE Elimination Chamber, Sunday, February 19th at Milwaukee's Bradley Center. The question this week, as we continue along the trend of talking about great pay-per-view events that have happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the question is, who did The Rock defeat at WWE No Way Out 2002? Who did The Rock defeat at WWE No Way Out 2002?
That was the NWO pay-per-view,
That
right?
was the NWO pay-per-view here at Milwaukee's Bradley Center. Hulk Hogan's return to WWE. But the question, who did The Rock defeat at WWE No Way Out 2002? Email to chamber@pwrshow.com.
Wait, what email again?
chamber@pwrshow.com, along with your name and the location from which you're emailing, along with the answer, to qualify to win these tickets for WWE Elimination Chamber, which comes to Milwaukee on February 19th. And there's still so much more here to come on the Pro Wrestling Report, including more discussion on World Wrestling Entertainment. We're going to talk about TNA and Impact last Thursday night. Counterpoint, David Hero. Star of the Week. Can't wait to hear who that is this week. And the history book as we take a look back at the Royal Rumble 1997.
Where are the heroettes on the run sheet?
Not in the building. This is the Pro Wrestling Report right here on My 24 Milwaukee. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's the most dangerous structure ever created.
32,000 pounds.
16 tons of steel. It's the kind of match that changes your life.
Now, for the first time ever, it's coming to Milwaukee, the WWE Elimination Chamber.
The pain is horrific. Savage. Career ender.
6 men enter.
No one
Leaves the same. WWE Elimination Chamber, live in Milwaukee. Tickets on sale now.
Sunday, January 29th, 5 o'clock bell time. It's Great Lakes Championship Wrestling back at the Horny Goat Hideaway. Come down and see live pro wrestling featuring stars such as Robbie E. from TNA Wrestling, Rhino, Scotty 2 Hottie, and former WCW star Gorgeous George. Stick around after the wrestling for a free viewing of the WWE Royal Rumble on the Midwest's largest television. GLCW, the Pro Wrestling Report, the Horny Goat Hideaway, and the Royal Rumble, all in one place on one night.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero. And it's time to talk about WWE and this past Monday's Raw. We talked about it a little bit earlier as we were talking about the match between Cena and Kane. Zack Ryder chokeslammed through the stage and is going to be out now, not with a broken back, but with a herniated disc.
Oh, is that what it is now?
It's been modified by WWE. It is a herniated disc.
Oh, then he can be back on Monday.
Zack Ryder out.
He'll be back right away. See, how could they write the guy off with a broken back?
Well, that's what they did initially on Monday.
But you know what, though, at the same time, if you think about it, you had The Rock get killed in an ambulance.
He got T-boned by a semi.
Yeah, he was back a couple weeks later.
2 weeks, I think, to be exact.
Zack Ryder's going to be fine. But, boy, where does he go now?
Well, but Zack Ryder was nothing more than a pawn in the game of elevating Cena and Kane.
He's the people's champ.
He was used as a...
They love this guy.
It was an opportunity WWE capitalized on to give Zack Ryder the championship.
An opportunity.
Pair him up with Cena. But that really made this matchup with him and Kane much more important this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, the whole Zack Ryder situation, because
Cena's way too human is what it did.
I thought he was more robotic.
Well, he's that too. His promos are robotic, but it just like he really cared. And then to have Eve give him the tongue
You've already
lashing.
done enough.
What? There's nothing worse than having a hot chick be disappointed in you. Absolutely not. Just saying. Right?
Well, William Regal.
He was a star on SmackDown last week. He's even better on Raw as a commentator. The guy gets it. He's one of the guys that if he were to go to Florida Championship Wrestling, the developmental, he probably wouldn't make it because he's too much of his own person. He's not programmed. The stuff he does can't be taught, much like Eric Young in TNA.
Yeah, and he did so well this past Monday night on Raw. And we're going to talk more about William Regal because the question in this week's Point Counterpoint, which is coming up next, is should William Regal replace Jerry Lawler on commentary? I don't want to hear your answer yet, but we're going to talk about that in Point Counterpoint.
Right?
So underutilized, though, is William Regal. And it wasn't just Friday SmackDown. And granted, he's on NXT, but who watches that online?
He does.
But also on Raw this past Monday night, just so underutilized. And we'll talk more about him in Point Counterpoint, but
By the
entertaining
way, where
to
is
say the
Andy?
least.
I haven't seen Andy.
He's taking care of things that I give him a list of things to do before the show goes on, and he's taking care
I
of
don't
those
get
things.
the fancy cup of Jameson and ice and stuff. I don't get anything to drink.
Chris Jericho spoke. He has spoken, and he did so in the highlight reel this past Monday night on Raw. To paraphrase, or to try to almost quote what he said, this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, it will be the end of the world as you know it. Where is this bus driving?
That bus is driving to the Royal Rumble, beating 30 other men.
29.
Well, same thing.
28.
You round up at
Won't be
5.
Cody.
You round up at 5. And it'll be him going on Monday Night Raw challenging CM Punk for his WWE Championship at WrestleMania, where then it will be the best in the world against the best in the world at what I do. And that's when the world will never be the same. How
No,
many
it'll
more
be the
times
end of
can
the
they
world
say
as
the
we know
world?
it.
Yeah. It's a lot of world
Well, it is
references.
World Wrestling Entertainment.
World Be Free might be there.
On SmackDown this past Friday night, just last night actually, David, the return of Randy Orton. And Randy Orton wasted no time in getting his hands on Wade Barrett, and then it was RKOs for anybody else who wanted to stick their nose in Randy Orton's business.
And all the lower card guys got RKO'd. I don't understand why they brought Randy Orton back on SmackDown. Why not save him as the big surprise in the Royal Rumble? That would have made far more sense. I do hear voices in my head.
Did it? Did I hear cinnamon and spice?
I think they're
Look, let me tell you, it ain't gonna happen. You don't know the password.
Bro.
You can try. Try as you may. It will not happen. Why bring him back on SmackDown? Why not?
Because save it for the big surprise at the Rumble. I mean, they didn't need him on SmackDown.
But does it get that many more people?
No.
You gotta have, Randy Orton's your biggest name in the Rumble. Announced.
No, the biggest name is going to be the other matches.
No, the biggest name in the Rumble match is Randy Orton. True or false?
Over Chris Jericho? No way.
At this point, I think so, because Randy Orton is the equivalent to John Cena
well,
in some
in his
regards.
hometown, St. Louis, yes.
Right. So you had to say he was going to be there.
They know he's going to be there.
They do, but
Well, now I do. And so do they.
it's this week's WWE news, ladies and gentlemen. It's time now to move forward into Point Counterpoint. Point Counterpoint coming up next.
Wrong.
Well, it's time to go to this week's Point Counterpoint, and don't touch me. This week's question: should William Regal replace Jerry the King Lawler on commentary for WWE's primary broadcasts? I'm taking the point for yes. You're taking the point for no. Andy, if we can get the bell
so I'm
and 30
always
seconds
negative.
on the clock. And let's go. William Regal has comedy gold. William Regal, anytime he's had the opportunity to be behind a microphone, when he was general manager of Raw, on NXT as a commentator, wherever it may be, he is fantastic. While some things may not be as easy to understand for us domestic wrestling fans, it's still tremendous. And I think that Jerry Lawler has seen his best days in commentary, and he seems as if some weeks he's just sort of phoning it in, and William Regal could take that role and do it much better.
William Regal is not needed, as entertaining as he may
Don't
be.
besmirch him.
I'm not going to besmirch him, but he would besmirch Raw simply because you don't need two heel announcers on Monday Night Raw. We don't need to turn Raw into American Idol. We don't need our own Simon Cowell. We don't need Ricky Gervais doing his award show. William Regal is best on NXT or in-ring performer. Yes, he's funny, haha, but hey, if you're going to get somebody over, you need a microphone. This has got to stop. This is
That was this week's Point Counterpoint, ladies and gentlemen. Well, still to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report, Star of the Week and the History Book, looking back at the Royal Rumble 1997. The Pro Wrestling Report primetime on My 24 Milwaukee continues after this.
Sunday, January 29th, 5 o'clock bell time. It's Great Lakes Championship Wrestling back at the Horny Goat Hideaway. Come down and see live pro wrestling featuring stars such as Robbie E. from TNA Wrestling, Rhino, Scotty 2 Hottie, and former WCW star Gorgeous George. Stick around after the wrestling for a free viewing of the WWE Royal Rumble on the Midwest's largest television. GLCW, the Pro Wrestling Report, the Horny Goat Hideaway, and the Royal Rumble, all in one place on one night. For all you great fans, go to PWRshow.com for more information. PWRshow.com.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time here on My 24 Milwaukee. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero.
It's the TNA segment. You know he's back. He'll be back soon.
He is back tonight in Jolly Old in London, where TNA is taping this week's Impact.
No, he's not. He had visa issues. He didn't get over to England. He's not there.
Does he have a MasterCard?
Well, he has a MasterCard.
That was a segue. Play along. It's TNA News, ladies and gentlemen, and let's first talk about last Thursday night's Impact Wrestling on Spike TV, where we saw several things happen, including Tara qualify to become the #1 contender for the Knockouts Championship. It's been a while since she's been in the championship hunt, if you will.
Tara and Gail will have great matches. But wow, they're recycling the knockouts. What happened?
What else are they going to do?
What happened to Velvet Sky? What happened to Angelina Love? What happened to ODB? ODB and Gail Kim could have some great matches.
ODB is still doing great with EY.
Oh, absolutely, but
she's almost in a better place for doing that now than anything else.
It's interesting how TNA is using other people now again. The TV champ isn't even really on TV anymore, Robbie E., but he will be at Horny Goat tomorrow. AJ Styles now in a feud with one of his best friends, Kaz, and Christopher Daniels. Wow. Where are they going? What's the plan? Gunner and Bischoff's kid.
But Bully Ray is now involved in this whole Jeff Hardy, James Storm, Bobby Roode thing. We saw Bully Ray get involved.
All tag team wrestlers are now the headliners
that is
in
true.
TNA.
It is very true, actually.
You have the best tag team in TNA in Beer Money. You have the Hardys, Jeff Hardy, one of the best tag teams of all time, and one of the Dudleys' best tag teams of all time. Wow. Tag team wrestling is still alive in TNA if you're a singles guy.
Tonight, as we alluded to, London, England, TNA is taping next week's Impact. This is a big day for the company. They've got thousands of people in that arena. It looks good from what we've heard so far. It's going to be a good showing next Thursday night on Spike.
TNA might be moving over to England.
They may as well.
Right?
And in the history book this week, we're going to take a look back at the Royal Rumble, as we've done all month long, but this week it's the Royal Rumble 1995.
95.
A substantial year, which took us into WrestleMania 11 from the Hartford Civic Center, which was such a vast difference from the year before and the year after. Two good WrestleManias. WrestleMania 11, one of the worst in my opinion ever. But we saw WrestleMania 11 get set up at this Royal Rumble because it was when Bam Bam Bigelow went after Lawrence Taylor in the front row. And you want to talk about a sell job. That was a sell job at that pay-per-view.
I honestly thought they were going to fight.
Remember Vince McMahon went off headsets and they had Jerry Lawler say, Vince is not here, he's off headset. Wow. And then Vince does the apology, turns around in his chair. He's crazy, that guy! Lawrence Taylor's bodyguard or whatever with him in that jumpsuit.
It was believable. It really was.
Very believable. Very, very believable. And that Royal Rumble, I believe, was the same Royal Rumble where the intervals were only 90 seconds or 60 seconds. It was only a 30 or 40 minute Rumble. Didn't matter though. Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels would win that Rumble, go into WrestleMania to face Diesel. But the real story of that WrestleMania and the real story of that night at the Rumble was Lawrence Taylor's involvement in that matchup. It would be 3 years later that Mike Tyson would get involved in WrestleMania at the Rumble as well. You gotta wonder if this was the beginning of celebrity involvement in WrestleMania.
Absolutely, but
on that scale.
Think of Bam Bam Bigelow, the guy that was promised the world, saying, hey, put over Lawrence Taylor, we'll give you a hell of a run.
Pat Patterson, the referee for that matchup, ultimately.
Well, he had to be the referee because he could talk LT through everything. He did. It could have been bad. It could have been all bad.
Heartbreak Kid winning that Royal Rumble matchup. And again, it was a short Rumble, but the way that they delivered that, you say poor Bam Bam, but it was done so well. And a lot of people forget that Bam Bam Bigelow ended up in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, he did.
Hold on. Are you?
Linda.
Listen, I cannot.
You're here? With the girls.
Here and
all right.
No.
I'll be right back.
You can't leave. We're on
It'll
television.
Be good. Trust me.
What are you doing? You know. I really do need to find a new co-host, ladies and gentlemen. That's the history.
No, Andy's not going to let you in. This is all mine. You're the heroettes. First class.
We look back at the last 5 years of the Royal Rumble with special episodes exclusively at
PWRShow.com. There you are. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing tremendous. How are you?
Come on in, down the stairs.
All right.
Hello. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I can't wait.
Hello. Hey, Cody. How are you, man? Yes. I promise I will make sure you look like a star in the Rumble. But hey, listen, I got my heroettes here. I gotta go do my video. Hold on a second. Hey, I gotta call you back. All right, thanks. You freaking. I'm locked in the line.
I hope he comes back because it's time to go to the Star of the Week, find out who that is. So, without further ado, it's this week's Star of the Week.
Hey, y'all. Can somebody call my mama? It's about to get funky up in here. Know what I'm saying? Somebody call my mama. Somebody call my mama. Somebody call my mama. What you say? Somebody please call my mama.
Hello. Team Hero, PBR, start the show.
What you say now? What you got? What you got for me?
Why do I feel with Nelson?